This is Jody Williams again with True Crime Astrology at this point. And of course, we all know Trump had another assassination attempt, right? Okay. Now, I talked Michelle left me a message this morning, and the chart that I've got on the window is the chart of the event. Remember, the first thing I said to her is that, Trump looks like he just spoke to a woman before it happened. Well, you know, there it is, because here's Trump, the Uranus Venus, and she told me that, yeah, he had just talking to Melania before the event happened. Moon had just crossed over the midheaven, which of course is all the fame, all the notoriety, yada, yada. Okay. Now, this means that the shooter would be Mars, the Scorpio ascendant, and Pluto. So, see, Pluto has just shot from the second to the third house. So 835 sounds about right, because the third house, if you have the signifier of the first house in the third house, that means that they just like came in from like the garage or the lobby or the parking lot, or you know what I mean, something that's close to the main area. That's the third house. So he would have just walked into the event, it looks like, about that time, and let me see.
He
Mars.
supposedly had a room in the hotel.
Yeah, I believe that
Yeah.
totally. And I'll tell you
Okay.
why, because I'm going to go with, this also tells me about him, because this is why I like my highlighter, is if I take Pluto at 5 degrees is him walking onto the scene at this time, okay? Then I also see Saturn, Neptune in the fourth. Now, believe it or not, yeah, I would say that he was staying there. So that tells me the person who walked onto the scene was also at home. So if he did rent a room there, that fits. He rented a room, he came onto the scene. Okay, now the ironic thing is whoever he was that did this, he certainly didn't realize, or maybe he did, that, remember I've talked before about void moons? Well, the moon was at 0 degrees about this time. So it went from 29 to 0, which is a void moon. So it failed. This is how void moons work. I mean, he still obviously did the event. He still shot at Trump, but did he kill him? Not on a void moon. He's not going to kill him, you know? So that's why I said is maybe an astrologer did plan this, because that would tell me that, you'd have a lot of ruckus, with the tent, you get a lot of publicity, but you're not going to actually kill him with a void
Right. Well,
moon.
there was a security. It's probably why I'm seeing double today. I've been reading what I can about it all day,
Yeah.
and looking at it astrologically. Uh, that the Secret Service agent did get shot, but he's okay because he had a bulletproof vest. So there was, something, a bullet that penetrated had, but there was a protectiveness, which I saw that Jupiter being there in the
Yeah.
way that it was. And even in Trump's chart, there was a very much Jupiter, a shield, a protective thing. And that's what I saw. But I definitely really want to hear what you have to say. But I wanted to give you that little tidbit that I know about the Secret Service agent.
Didn't the
Well,
agent get shot by another agent?
An astrologer did not plan this because otherwise it would have worked.
oh, I was joking, because what I meant by that is that a lot of people say this was staged. Okay. If it was staged, I would pick a void moon, because I would want to have the fame, the 10th house moon hitting the 10th house angle is the fame, but the void moon would mean that he would not kill anybody. Okay. So that's why I joked about maybe an astrologer did plan it to not work. Because I've talked about that. I've talked about sometimes you don't want things to work. This would be one of them. If I wanted to stage something, but I didn't want to kill anybody, I would do it exactly like this, you know? So now here's the thing is you're talking about the Secret Service, because there is, if you look at it, what's the closest thing to the Pluto? Because the Pluto is the guy that shot at him walking onto the scene. Okay, so I'm wanting more information. right? Now, what I see is the sun in the sixth house. That would be then an employee of some kind. So you're saying the Secret Service guy, you know, got there. So I'm going to say the sun here is a Secret Service guy. All right. So I've got in this chart, Uranus to me would be Trump, and Venus, of course, is Melania. Pluto is going to represent him walking onto the scene. This Saturn Neptune tells me, yes, he was staying at the hotel. The other person that connected to all of this is going to be the Secret Service agent here. But I'm looking, there's other things going on, all right? Because we've got this thing here in the fifth house, right? But it's not quite aspecting, but it's applying. Because here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to want to look at the thing that happened right before this happened, okay, is again, we're seeing that, you know, Trump talked to Melania, but what did he do right before he did this, okay? So
There was a mentalist that came on that went over to their table and was talking to them and showed them like a mentalist trick. And that's at the moment when Melania's face goes, basically, what is happening, and Trump's looking at her like, you know, he doesn't even know what's happening. So I've looked at the tapes. I've went over them. Like I said, I broke them down astrologically, but I'm loving what you're saying because I saw the very same thing. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've got the part of fortune in the eighth house in this one. So again, I think that protected everyone from being killed. So, I mean, it's kind of afflicted with the Uranus and the void moon, but the part of fortune, yeah, in this case, I think protects things. The thing that I'm finding interesting, and I don't think we'll ever see it though, is I've talked about applying and separating, all right? And the thing is that Venus here at 2 degrees is applying to the Pluto, but it's not right away. It's after the event, okay? So I'm not quite sure if that means that Melania is going to visit him or talk to him or his family, or because I don't believe he was alone. And the reason why that is I think somebody was left behind. I think that when he entered this scene, okay, we still have this Saturn Neptune in the fourth house affecting him. So I do think there were other people involved, you know, that he was with, so to speak. But the Saturn Neptune tells me we're never going to know. Whoever this is, we're just never going to know, you know?
Absolutely.
Does somebody have a radio or TV on?
I don't. Now, what I am going to look at is what is the moon going to be doing? Did they catch this guy? Oh, wait. Ricky, can you just mute whoever that is? I'm not sure who's...
The only person unmuted is Michelle.
Yeah, I just told my husband to turn the TV down.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
They did catch him, and it happened out in the hallway.
They did catch him.
Yes.
Because here's the thing. The moon's next aspect is really, you know, because of everything we know, we've identified who the players are, okay? So the moon's next aspect is going to be to this Mercury Mars in the fifth house, all right? What the fifth house has to do with this event, I'm not sure, okay? However, so the moon is going, here's the thing, the moon is going to move up in 12 degrees to this Mars, okay? Now, I can round that out to, if it was angular, I would say hours, but because it's in a succedent house, I'm going to say days. But if it was in a cadent house, I'd say months. All right. So I'm going to round this off within 2 weeks. Sometime within 2 weeks, something's going to happen with this guy. All right. And what the fifth house is, I'd have to do more research because I'm going, what the hell's the fifth house got to do with it? I don't know, because the fifth house can be agents, brokers, lovers, children. I don't know.
Well, now let me ask you this: when you say this, the Department of Justice just put out a memo that they want to bring back firing squads as
I was going to bring that up
execution.
next. I was going to bring that up next. I'll
Okay,
tell you
okay,
why. Because
okay.
after the moon aspects this Mercury Mars, okay, guess what its next aspect is? Jupiter in the eighth. This
Right.
guy's going to get the death penalty or
Mhm.
death. He's going to either be killed in jail or the death penalty. And here's how, it's interesting you brought up firing squad, and I'll tell you why. Is you see this the Mercury Mars here in the fifth house and then Jupiter?
Yes.
I think this is
Yes.
going to happen close together where he's going to get hit in the head or he's going to get shot in the head or hung possibly, because Jupiter, yeah, you know what? Mars Jupiter is where you have no breath. But Aries is like shot in the head. So I mean, I'd have to
Well,
look
that
more
the
at
Aries
this.
thing is for me it would be the head and also something quick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Now,
Like,
I'd have to look and see more about what I think that fifth house means or whatever, but we're looking at somebody that's either going to get the death penalty or he's going to get killed in jail, but he's going to wind up dead. That's how I think it's going to turn out anyway.
yeah, I mean it's
Soon.
a fascinating chart for
Is he
sure.
dead? Is he alive? There's
No,
conflicting reports.
he's alive. They
And
they
then,
they they apprehended him.
yeah, they apprehended him.
That's
And again, it could be like Oswald. Oswald was killed like 3 days later. I mean, we don't, but
yeah. Mhm.
whoever this guy is, he's not going to survive this,
MSN says he's dead, so I'm confused.
Really? Then that
We'd have
must
to,
have just happened very shortly then, because I've
Yeah,
been watching and reading all day since I've gotten on to the class. So if you're
yeah.
saying that he's dead, then maybe exactly what she's talking about with the fastness of it.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe it's 12 hours I'm looking at. I always screw up
Maybe
on
it's already
time.
happened, because
Yeah,
you're looking at the event chart. You're not even looking at the transits.
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you're right.
Transits are going to definitely play a part in that aspect of things when you're going
Hey,
to
George.
deal with
Um,
timing, you know what I'm
calm
saying?
down, George. My dog's starting to tell me it's dinner time. Calm down.
Yes, it
Just
is
say,
late. Yes.
all right. So any other questions? Because my dog is starting to have a fit. He wants his dinner. You can hear him
No, thank
squeaking.
you. It was
He's got
very fascinating.
his squeaky toy. This is how he lets me know it's dinner time, as he starts with
Yeah.
the squeaky toy.
We'll have to try to
Okay.
verify if he's alive or not.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I do
I'll
mess
look.
up on time. Because I'm
If
thinking
he is,
days, but
then
maybe
you
it's
still see
hours.
something happening though, so.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't dead as of this afternoon. I didn't, because
No, like
when
I
she told
said.
me, I looked it up and I didn't see that he was dead this afternoon. So, but something might have just happened.
Or somebody got it wrong. You never know.
Somebody got it wrong. But I'm just saying, if he's alive right now in custody, they need to keep a really good eye on him.
Yeah.
Because actually, let me see something. The eighth house and the fifth house, Neptune, Jupiter. Oh. Okay, I
It
just
says,
realized the ruler of the fourth house is Jupiter in the eighth. No, this guy's not
well,
going
it
to
says
survive.
based on reports from a suspect was apprehended, Association dinner, while initial reports suggested the gunman was killed. Law enforcement sources later clarified that the Secret Service fired on the suspect but did not kill him. So I don't see where it's
You're getting
saying that.
conflicting. But I will tell you what, looking at this chart, because at the time of the shooting, okay, the shooter, after the event, because the next thing happens after this event, when you watch the moon, is the next thing that happens is he doesn't make it. So something's going on here. You know, he's either, like I said, going to be killed in custody or as they get
Yeah.
him, or he's going to get the death penalty, but it looks like a blow to the head, you know? Might be
Yeah,
more
now
Yeah,
we
in
like
there.
found
I
something
said,
that says it's
it's
not
in.
confirmed that he's dead. So
Yeah.
there's confusion.
I just Googled it and I did not see anything. No.
It's kind of hard to believe the news anymore
Well,
anyway.
that is the problem with, let's remember, Trump is having a Neptune opposition right now, natally.
Mm-hmm.
I believe his Neptune's at 5 Libra.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I look at that and I think, you know, the greatest showman on the face of the earth is going to go out with the biggest bang in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, here's one
Neptune,
thing.
Neptune, let's go.
If he does have an astrologer working for him, I would have told him not to be at this event at that time. But if I wanted to stage something that fell apart, this is great because of that void moon. You know, any
Yes, that's my
astrologer would say,
point.
don't do
Like,
something on a void moon, you know?
yes, that basically was what I saw last night because I was
George.
completely lucid, looking at everything, watching the real-time reactions on television, watching his press conference, everything, and realizing that something just was not right with this whole thing. And all my spidey senses went up.
You
And
know,
you could say, okay, he's this, but I believe that he himself, no one's going to tell me anything different, that he himself is the astrologer. He's the one, and think about it, even if he did have an astrologer, with the way that his personality is, he would listen. He's the greatest. He's going to listen to himself in the end. And he knows how to use these specific aspects to benefit him. He just is that person. Whether you like him, whether you don't, it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm
I
saying? He
know.
really is a very brilliant directionalist.
Yeah, you know what though? Because you guys got me like wondering, is somebody going to make another attempt on him?
Well,
Okay,
he
so,
does not have friendly aspects going on. He has a
mm-hmm.
lot of things that are not good. He's got probably more enemies than he thinks he does. He's, all these things are going on in his chart. The eclipse just went over his entire chart back in February.
Well, guess what? Can you guys see the screen? I just did a horary about will there be another attempt on Trump's life?
Yeah.
Can you guys see the chart I pulled up?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm looking at a 29-degree Libra ascendant with Venus conjunct Uranus in the 8th, which is also ruler of the 8th. So I gotta be careful. I can't say things like that, but I think you
No,
guys
I
know where
know,
I'm
but
getting.
what you're only doing this out of entertainment purposes, and
Entertainment purposes. Yeah,
we are going over these things because we are in a way our own, mini scientists. The way we look at these charts, and we don't. In the end, we're a lot of times we're wrong, but a lot of times
absolutely.
we
Yeah,
see things that maybe someone else doesn't see, and that's what it comes down to.
yeah. And I always talk about the rule of three. Well, the 29 degrees on the rising tells the ruler of the 8th house conjunct Uranus tells me that, yes, I do think there will be another attempt, okay? The moon in the 11th tells me anytime you have the 11th house or the moon in the 11th, that means multiples. If you're like an apartment building is a multiple or a fleet of cars is a multiple or multiple attempts, So yeah, I'm thinking there's going to be, and we even have Chiron opposing the rising when I ask this question. So I'm going to say,
The person's health is
yeah,
in question. Hmm.
yeah. Well, that's true. You're right. The person I'm asking about, definitely there's health problems there. But I do think that there's going to be at least one more attempt made on him with this looking. I just did a horary, and it looks like
Yeah, I
another
see it.
stranger, another lunatic. That Jupiter in the ninth is a stranger, another crazy person coming out of nowhere, because of the moon Jupiter. That tells me that there's going to be another stranger or a mentally ill
Well,
person,
this would be
you know.
beneficial to him to be, to be more wise about what he's doing. And if he does
Yeah.
have an astrologer, which is what I think he does, and I also do believe whether he, knows how to construct a chart or not, I think that he is probably very astrology savvy.
We should, next class or whatever, we should look at his natal and get a pinpoint when that's going to be. Because we now have 2 attempts that we can look at to see
Yeah.
patterns. And, in his chart, because there's always a pattern in the specific, his chart.
Yeah, because even in those instances, like in Butler, whether there were astrologers that voted for him or not, they still said there was danger there. Now, what that
Hmm.
danger meant, it's a whole different,
We don't know. Yeah.
that's the thing. And there are some very dangerous astrological aspects coming up for him.
Well, let's
Like
do
I
that.
said,
One
he
of
just
our
had that.
assignments, yeah, next week. Let's take his natal chart and see when they think they might try it again. But it looks like there's going to be another attempt. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you again
Okay,
for a
I'm going to go
very
feed George.
wonderful class.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you. Any last questions before I go feed the dog?
No, feed the dog.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
All right, bye.
Bye.